What's up guys, it's your boy Dekkster here, and a lot has changed due to the recent patch that hit. So there's a lot to talk about. I think I got about 14, 15 decks to go through here. Unfortunately, I can't go through every single archetype, so I'm sorry if I miss, I don't know, your Elemental Mage or something like that. Doesn't mean it's not a decent archetype, it just means I didn't have time to go over it. Because, yeah, all this information is going to be from Vicious Syndicate, so thanks to them. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, I just appreciate their content, and you can definitely check out their report below. If you want to get some more in-depth stuff, you go for it, man. Let's jump right into the class archetype distribution here. At all ranks, we can see lots of classes being played. Seems like Warrior's not very represented here, but there's a lot of good Druid archetypes out there, a lot of Mage, a lot of Rogue, Hunter. It's pretty cool overall. If we go to ranks 4 to 1, still Druid very popular here, it would seem, just because there's so many good archetypes out there right now. You get the Taunt Druid, Spiteful, Token, and Malygos amongst other different archetypes. It's just pretty insane. If we jump to Legend, still same thing. So it would seem that Druid's the #1 class as far as popularity anyways, and then Rogue, and then Warlock. Miracle Rogue and Odd Rogue being very strong archetypes right now, so definitely look into these, keep an eye out. Maybe if you're playing against a Rogue, assume it's going to be Odd Rogue. If you're playing against a Warlock, assume it's going to be even, so mulligan accordingly. As far as class frequency, we can look at by week, but I think it's a little bit better if we look at by day. We can see, what's going on a little bit better. We can see that Priest is kind of falling in play. The main Priest archetype seems to be Quest Priest. Other than that, they're not doing too hot right now. Warrior still not too popular, although I really like Taunt Warrior. Druid, very popular right now, and then Rogue, and of course Hunter actually doing pretty good. Spell Hunter very solid, as well as multiple Katharina builds doing really well right now. Paladin falling in play. Murloc Paladin not doing as good as a lot of people had expected, including me. I thought Call to Arms wouldn't get, it wouldn't destroy Murloc Paladin, but it seems like it's kind of just not doing a thing. Best Paladin list seems to be Odd Paladin right now. All right, we can look here at the matchup win rates. You can kind of just assume here, look through, if you're playing Taunt Druid, you're not going to do well against Big Spell Mage. If you're playing Taunt Druid, you're not going to do well against Miracle Rogue, but you will do good against Spell Hunter and Token Druid. So, I mean, you know how to read this thing. Green is good, red is bad. You got it. Let's look at the power rankings here, though. For all ranks, a lot of classes in Tier 1. So many things you can do and still do well with. I'm not even going to name them all, but you can see that's what, seven classes or so in Tier 1. And then we switch to ranks 4 to 1. That drops down to only 5 classes. We got Taunt Warrior at the top, then Token Druid, even Warlock, Big Spell Mage, and Odd Paladin, all doing really well. And if we go to Legend, Tier 1 is Taunt Warrior, Token Druid, and even Lock. Now, I think one of the main reasons Taunt Warrior is doing really good is because you're seeing a lot of Odd Paladins, you're seeing a lot of Token Druids, and usually people can't clear the Token Druid boards, but if you're playing Taunt Warrior, you got Warpath, you can clear the board pretty easily. And then, yeah, you're also seeing Odd Pally, maybe even throw down Garrosh, and then you can constantly do your spinny hero power, and it's such a good archetype right now. But yeah, everything seems to be doing pretty good. I mean, look at that Tier 2. It's a lot of really good archetypes out there. So definitely, take that in consideration. Here is the meta score. Top right is better, higher up. You know what I'm saying? The higher up it is in the top right, that's the best. So if you look at, I don't know, Legend or ranks 4 to 1, it doesn't even matter. Even Warlock's up there, Spell Hunter, Odd Rogue, all that stuff doing it really well right now. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into each class. Maybe I'll just go through a couple different decks for each one. I don't really have time to go through everything. Like Druid probably has like 5 or 6 really cool archetypes. If you want to see all of them, maybe check out the description below, but I'm just gonna go through the top 2 or maybe just top 1 of each class, because I don't have all day, boys. So Druid is incredibly good right now, just as a whole class. We got several really good archetypes. We got Taunt Druid, Token Druid, Spiteful Druid, Malygos Druid, Devilsaur Druid, and also Togwaggle Druid. The 2 I'm going to talk about are Token Druid and Togwaggle. Token Druid definitely Tier 1, as you saw in the power rankings, but basically it's really difficult for your opponent to deal with how many dudes you can throw on the board so easily. Basically, you flood your board either through Violet Teacher or Whispering Woods. You hit them with the Soul of the Forest, so if your opponent clears that board, you have another board for them to deal with. which is, I guess, easily dealt with like Warpath or maybe like a nice Defile, but other than that, it's really difficult for your opponent to deal with. At that point, the next turn, assuming your dude's thick, you hit him with like a Savage Roar, maybe even 2 Savage Roars, Branching Paths for, you know, +1 attack, +1 attack, and you kind of just surprise lethal your opponent. I guess it's not too much of a surprise, but anyways, it's a really good archetype. We also have Togwaggle Druid. So the plan here with Togwaggle Druid is you're gonna cycle through your deck really fast. You're gonna have King Togwaggle in your hand. You're also gonna have Azalina's Soul Thief, and you're gonna have Twig of the World Tree. Your Twig is about to break. You play Togwaggle. You give them your deck, which has 0 cards, and you get their deck. Now they're gonna have the Ransom they can switch back, but you're gonna play Azalina's Soul Thief, so you can get the Ransom card back. So if they do switch, you switch them again. Then you can just, you know, cause them to mill with Naturalize, and they basically die through fatigue, and you can build so much armor and stuff. It's a pretty crazy deck. It's really fun. It's really, it's weird. I don't know, but just try it out if you have the cards. I don't even know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Rogue is a really good class right now. We got Odd Rogue, Miracle Rogue, Tempo Rogue, Quest Rogue, and Kingsbane Rogue. But in my opinion, the 2 best are Odd Rogue and Miracle Rogue. Basically, Odd Rogue hasn't really changed much. We took the Owl out because we're not worried about Q blocks as much anymore. Or the Void Lords, they're just not in the meta too much. Things might change. You might throw the Owl back in the future. But as of right now, this is kind of what the list looks like. You basically have an insane good tempo. You know, you throw down a Clan Thug and your opponent can't deal with it, or maybe throw down a Flappy Bird, it just gets Wind Fury and attack and it just destroys your opponent. That's kind of how that one works. Really good budget, relatively budget list. Maybe you don't have Leroy, you throw in, I don't know, you throw in an Owl instead or something like that, but you can make it relatively budget. As far as Miracle Rogue, this is so good right now. I don't know why. It's just insanely good. You play the Strider, it shuffles those boys in your deck, and then you just cycle through them with you know, your Auctioneer and everything. Plus, if your opponent plays a big boy, you go ahead and sap it, or maybe if you don't sap it, you just Vilespine slay it. This list is just a lot of fun. Really, really enjoying Miracle Rogue, and I'm really glad it's back and thriving on the ladder. So Warlock is still in a good spot as well. We got Even Lock, Q Block, Control Lock, and Zoo Lock. Zoo Lock doesn't seem like people are messing with it too much, but I feel like there's gonna be a good list emerging somewhere that people start being excited about. But as of right now, it's not too well represented, I guess. But the best Warlock list out there is definitely Even Warlock. I'm really happy because I used to play this a lot before the patch, and I really enjoyed it, but it was suffering against Even Paladin. But now that equality is not so much of a big deal anymore, here this is. I mean, it's insane. You can get Mountain Giants on turn 3. You get 4/10 Twilight Drakes pretty fast, and then you also have your 4-mana 7/7s through the Hooked Reaver, since you hurt yourself so much through constantly tapping. But it doesn't really matter that you're hurting yourself because you can heal up. I mean, Plated Beetle, armor is kind of effective health in a way, and then we got the Spellstones. We have the Shroom Brewers. It's pretty insane. It's an amazing list, and it is a lot of fun. One of the funnest lists in my opinion, or most fun, however you want to say. I don't know, but definitely try this one out. And also, of course, there's Q Block. I'm not going to talk about Q Block too much, but it is there. It is good. Nothing has really changed. It's still a good list, and I think people are going to start gravitating back towards Q Block as, you know, they stop having fun with the other crazier, wackier lists. I think it's still going to be tier 1, but we'll see. We'll see, boys. So Shaman is pretty damn good right now. We got Even Shaman and Shudderwock Shaman both doing fairly well. We have Zyrios. Zyrios is Shudderwock Shaman here. Pretty good. Yeah, it's not running Murmuring Elemental. Instead, we're going for a Keleseth in there, which is sometimes insanely good. But because we don't have Murmuring Elemental, you kind of want to make sure you play a couple chain gangs before you play your Shudderwock. Just because you want that to go off before, you know, Grumble kind of sends your boys back to your hand. You know what I'm saying? And then also, even more surprising is Even Shaman doing so well in the current meta. It was doing well before it, but now it seems like it's gotten even better because its bad matchups have been nerfed slightly. So this is definitely one to keep your eye on. Here's Meaty's Even Shaman, and it kind of just, it plays on curve. You're always throwing totems out there. It's hard for your opponent to deal with. And I don't know, it's just really fun to sometimes throw like an Alec here on the board there, hit it with an Earthen Mind, smack him in the face for 10, stuff like that. Just really fun. Check it out. Even Shaman. Kind kind of expensive actually. I guess don't craft it if you're tight on dust, but whatever. So Mage is actually in kind of a rough spot in my opinion right now. We got Big Spell Mage and Alunath Mage, and Alunath Mage was pretty good against even Pally and is also pretty good against Cube Lock and Control Lock, but unfortunately both those got nerfed, so you're not seeing too many of those anymore. So now you're just running into things that you're not too good against. So honestly, I would kind of advise against playing this. If you have it, I'm sure you could probably get, you know, like rank 5 with this. But as far as pushing for legend, it's gonna be rough. You might just want to play something else. We got Big Spell Mage here too. Big Spell Mage pretty good because there's a lot of board flooding archetypes out there right now. This list is great against even Warlocks. If you're seeing a lot of even Warlocks, maybe you want to go for this one. It's not too good against Token Druid though, because if we do like a Flame Strike and then they get all their treants, it's going to be difficult to clear all those as well when we only have 3 mana left. So I guess the only way to clear a Token Druid board would be like Dragon's Fury into Dragon's Fury, which is not very, you know, good. That's not good at all. But against other archetypes, it seems like it's going to do pretty well. So Hunter's in a pretty good spot right now as a whole. Really excited about Spell Hunter doing well, as well as Katharina Hunter. Pretty insane. The Katharina idea here anyways with this one's running cube. There's lists without cube, but this one's running cube. It's pretty exciting. You can, you know, maybe you can cube a Katharina. If you want to cube a Devilsaur, you can cube a lot of things, and then you can play dead the cube, spawn even more. So sometimes you just surprise lethal with the Devilsaur, stuff like that. Definitely a blast. Definitely check it out if you're looking for a fun, good time. I mean, it's so fun, and I love it when fun archetypes are good. Well, I guess fun is subjective, so I don't know. I just really like this one. But then we also have Spell Hunter. Spell Hunter doing really well. It's all about that Spellstone, guys. Like, how does your opponent deal with the Spellstone? Maybe you don't do too well against Warlock. Maybe they just Hellfire your Spellstone. I don't know, but this list in general is just really, really good. Rockdalar pulling a lot of weight, filling your hand with random spells. It's so nice, man. To my side, so good. I just love this list. It's definitely a fun one. Check this one out. Also relatively cheap, I guess, aside from, you know, Rockdalar. But you can maybe play one list without a Rockdalar. I don't know. Maybe you put in a Deadly Shot or something. There's got to be a budget variation of this somewhere. I was playing one without Rockdalar, and it seemed to do pretty well still. So it seems like Priest is actually not doing too well right now. We got Control Priest, Quest Priest, Combo Priest, and Spiteful Priest, and Quest Priest seems to be the leader of the pack here. It's actually really, really easy to complete your quest. You got a bunch of cheap Death Rattle minions, and then you have Twilight's Call. It's easy to complete, trust me. And then you get your Zola. Basically what you do is you play your Amara, which comes out of your quest, 5 mana, 8/8, and then you Zola, you get a copy back in your hand. So your health gets low, right? Boom, you're up to 40. But you have another Amara in your hand. Your health gets low again, boom, up to 40 again. Plus, you can Archbishop Benedictus. You know, maybe you Psychic Screen, you shuffled some cards in their deck and you're running low on cards. Boom, you just Benedictus and you get your cards back. So pretty cool. This thing can, you know, lead to some really long games. But overall, it's fun. It's crazy. Check it out. Check it out, boys. It is expensive, so maybe I advise against crafting this, but if you're close, you're just missing like one legendary or something, it's definitely a good one if you're looking for a crazy time. All right, so Paladin doing okay. We got Odd Paladin, really good. It's up there. It's up there in the tiers. It's pretty good, but Murloc Paladin, I'm still surprised. It's not doing as well as I had expected, but back to Odd Paladin, you flood the board, your opponent can't deal with it, your dudes die, your creepers get cheaper, and you just keep flooding the board over and over. Just pressing that hero power applies so much pressure, and your opponent has to be very, you know, reactive, because they just get scared, they don't have enough board clears. So yeah, this one's good, this one's really good, definitely check it out. Also, budget list. Aside from Level Up and Creeper, maybe, I'm considering Baku like a must craft, so I'm saying this one's fairly budget. So maybe go with this one. You could definitely hit Legend with that one, boys. Check it out, check it out. So Warrior, we got Taunt Warrior, Big Warrior, and Odd Control, but I think the most promising archetype out there is Taunt Warrior. It's definitely one of my favorites. It's what I've been playing most recently on stream, and you know, just in my free time. I just really enjoy this one. You can complete the quest really fast through all your taunt boys, and then you just start throwing balls at their face and they can't deal with it. So I'm a real big fan of that. One of the main reasons I really like this list is because I was seeing a lot of token druids and I was seeing a lot of odd pallies, and basically, you know, you beat those. You got Warpath, so you can clear their Wisps and you can clear their Treants with just 6 mana. If they do it again, you just Warpath again. Plus, we also got Garrosh on there. You can constantly use your hero power to clear your opponent's odd pally dudes. And some people are asking me, why do you have Garrosh in there if it gets rid of, you know, your quest, your balls? Well, you just don't use it sometimes. You just hold on to it. If you're playing odd paladin, you're really happy to see Garrosh. If, you know, you're trying to just constantly throw balls in their face, just don't play Garrosh. It's as simple as that. But I definitely love this list. And God, man, it's so fun. It's so good. And once again, I mean, budget-ish, I guess? I don't know, man. I don't know. So that's gonna be it, boys. I'm sorry if I didn't cover a archetype you wanted me to cover or something like that. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means maybe I didn't have enough time, because we don't have all day, boys. We don't have all day. But anyways, hit the like button. If you want, you can follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and I'm also on Twitch. I do stream. For some reason, some of you guys don't know that, so follow me on Twitch. Follow that stream. I would definitely appreciate that. Thanks again to Vicious Syndicate for their stats. Once again, not sponsored, and that's gonna be it, boys. That's all. Stay hydrated, and we'll catch you later. Peace.